Friends, we all listen to the scriptures in Isaiah chapter 12, but then also listen to Luke chapter 12, 1-4, talking about the poor widow. The story of the poor widow is not just about stewardship, but rather the faith of a woman who is pouring her soul through her gift of faithfulness, devotion, and worship. Jesus sits opposite the treasury and watches. He sees this poor widow giving from her poverty, giving what seems insignificant. In the world's eyes, it will be considered as something that did not matter. A peanut, a small amount. It might have been humbling or even embarrassing to this woman. Yet, in courage, she stepped forward and still gave. Her gift stood in the shadow of larger sums given by those with abundance. Yet, she gave it with courage, and Jesus was moved. Friends, in worshiping God, it is not about the big things that we do, but the things that we do with our heart, no matter how big or small. When we do things in faith, Bible says with that faith we can move mountains. It is good to do the big stuff. It is also very good to do the small stuff. You know, because her gift cost her something, Jesus was moved. Whilst reflecting on this sermon as I babbed, I was thinking about cost, which is the theme of my sermon today, the gift that cost something, the gift that cost something. I was looking just around me, where can we find cost? You can find cost in all areas of our lives. Guess what? You can never go to the marketplace and get something without it costing you something, right? You need a green dollar to be able to buy what you want. In the same way, in the spiritual realm, to be able to receive the favor of God, to be able to receive the blessings of God, it should cost you something. It will cost you something. It will cost you sometimes your pride. Sometimes it will cost your humility. Sometimes it will cost your own self. Even other times, your life. In analyzing this woman's story, there were so many costs that comes through. One, the physical cost. By her giving, it increased her financial vulnerability. With her resources depleted, she risked hunger, exposure, or lack of shelter for that day. Unlike the wealthy, she had nothing left to fall back on. She was a widow and poor, and in those days, she was one of the most vulnerable people in society. No safety net. By her giving, it costed her comfort, her security. Yet, in faith, she still gave. Physical cost. How is your worship today costing you physically? Well, I can tell you one. Guess what? There are others who are not sitting here today. Maybe they are playing golf. I'm not saying golf is bad. Mike, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying golf is bad. But guess what? You are here worshiping God, building your spiritual man, your spiritual soul, understanding that having a relationship with God is your priority. That is cost. That is cost. The second cost to this widow was her social cost. Just as much as Jesus saw her give, perhaps others also saw the same, and with it was the potential judgment or misunderstanding of her giving from the community. They may have questioned her wisdom. Why give when you have so little? Why give when you have so little? Friends, the woman gave out of faith. She gave out of scarcity because she did not depend on what she was seeing. She was walking by faith and not by logic. Maybe you may be saying, yes, it's good to be rational. Yes, it is rational. It is good to be rational. God created us to use our mind. But when it comes to worshiping God, the Bible says we walk by faith and not by sight. When you want to worship God based on the tangibles, based on all the things that you can see, before you can worship God, you put God in a box. Because guess what? The air that we breathe in, do we all see the air? No. But yet we still breathe. That is an evidence of a God who created you and wants your worship, wants your faithfulness, wants your devotion. You know, Jesus is the ultimate gift. God's generous, self-giving gift to you and me. And like the widow, her gift did not come from surplus. It came from sacrifice. She did not give what was convenient. She gave what was costly. She did not offer part of her life. She gave all that she could give. And that was exactly what Jesus did for us. Jesus poured himself out not with 2 copper coins, but with his very blood, his breath, his body, his life. If you understand the cost of Jesus Christ's sacrifice to you, you will not count your cost before giving your worship to Jesus. The last cost I would like to emphasize is emotional and psychological cost. Giving all she had, as Jesus noted, truly, this poor widow out of her poverty put in all that she had to live on. This may have come with internal fear, fear of hunger, fear of uncertainty. Where will the next bread come from? Fear of lack. And yet, she gave it with courage and faith, and Jesus was moved. Perhaps you may be wondering why Jesus was moved. Jesus was moved because the widow's gift looked like his own sacrifice. Because Jesus recognized himself in this widow. Because Jesus saw the worship of this woman, not of the size of the gift, but the size of her faith. This woman offered her whole heart, and Jesus came to gather hearts like hers. What is your heart like? Do you have the kind of heart, the God kind of heart, like this woman? A heart that is seeking and thirsty and yearning for God. Friends, looking at the world today, we cannot hang our hopes and our faith on our degrees or on our purse or on our bank account. We need a God that will give us stability. Because we live in a time that there is no certainty and stability all around us. And that is why I like the song that says, would your anchor hold in the storms of life? Would your anchor, I want to ask you, would your anchor hold, in the storms of life? When your plans that you've made for your children, when the plans you've made for your finances after retirement, when your plans that you've made for your life is not coming together, when your health plans is not coming together, children academics is not coming together, would your anchor hold in the storms of life? The widow's gift is a shadow. Christ's gift is the substance. And the widow gave her livelihood. Christ gave his life. The widow gave all she had to live on. Christ gave all that we might live on. You can give your time, your treasure, your talent to God, just like the widow. Do not underestimate the blessings that God has poured upon you. You can make a difference. Your gift can make a difference in our community, in our country, in our church, and in our world. Do not underestimate the blessings of God upon your life. The word of the Lord.